this town has got so much history with automobiles and whatnot. Sure. And the thing is that the dealers were hands-on dealers. The dealers were part of their business. They weren't someone that was far away that was just keeping track of a dealership. They were people that were hands-on and part of the dealership. And oftentimes the dealers were selling cars too.
Oh,
and coming in and helping closing deals and whatnot. They were very much a part of it. Fortunately, I was able to work in the automobile business. I worked for Bill Reynolds at Royal Pontiac when I got out of college. I couldn't find a teaching job, and so I worked for one day at Bill Reynolds' place washing cars. I was a cleanup guy because that's how I put myself through college, was cleaning up cars. And I'll never forget this story. I was washing a car. It was a 63 Lincoln Continental with the suicide doors, and it was just a mess. It was just an absolute mess. Some farmer had brought it in. It was just full of mud and corn kernels and whatnot, corn kernels. And anyway, so I cleaned the car up, and Bill came back there, and he said, would you mind showing this car to this fellow up front? And I said, no, not at all. And he said, well, I'll send him back. And this farmer came back with bib overalls, and he had some drool of chewing tobacco running down the front of his bib overalls. And he asked me questions about the car. And I had spent 4 hours cleaning this car up, so I knew every inch of that car. And I told him what I did and what I found with that car. And it was basically a good, sound old car. So I went up to the front. He said, well, how much do you want for it? And I didn't know. And so I went up to the front. And Bill said, if you can sell that car for $400, you've done a good day of selling. So I went back and I sold it to him for $500. And after they closed the deal, Bill came up to me and he said, would you like to sell cars? And I said, well, I would. And he said, well, you start tomorrow. So I went from a cleanup boy, which I never got paid for those hours of working as a cleanup boy, to a car salesman. I ended up managing the used car department and making a good living here, making a good living selling cars. But it did not fill my heart, because I trained to be a teacher and I really wanted to be in the classroom. And so after 2 years, almost 2 years of selling cars for Bill, I decided to move to Kansas City, and I got a teaching job in Kansas City in the inner city. And it was a good choice. I made a good choice. So cars are part of my life, and Macomb is part of my life, and the two have been an extremely important part of my life. So it's good to be here.